Hello, Bl'Artagnan here with the Kaiser Behemoth raid Lufenia, his Raging Blade, Garland's burst weapon event. Sounds a little bit dirty. So this is a it's a very delay-focused boss based around Garland's whole deal is he delays on every hit. So I wanted to bring a slightly more interesting team than just like a Garland Lightning Stomp Fest, which I will that's how I got the clear, but I wanted to try to change things up. And so I thought to myself, I like using Y'shtola. Y'shtola delays, that's a great combination. She can use her burst and then lightning can go to 10. It'll be a great time. Oh, the boss counters magic with an instant kill undodgeable attack. Well, guess we're gonna have to do some weird science here. So to start with, all of Y'shtola's kind of efforts are being focused on the Manikin there. We don't want the Manikin acting. He's going to use his LD, which is about as powerful, if not more so, than regular Warrior of Light's LD, and will probably kill someone. So, the trick with the Behemoth, much like with the Humbaba Lufenia, is he has this counterattack that only triggers if he's able to act. I did test and it does work. He'll counter through HP silence, which is kind of annoying. Sorry, RCL and Kefka. But it doesn't work if you can find a way to paralyze him. The trick is he's immune to regular paralysis, so Camelot, Cloud, that sort of thing won't work here. What does work is Shantoto LD, we have Edward LD, we have Ramuh paralyzed. I mean, I don't have Shantoto LD, but I have the other two. And so what we're going to be doing here is, well, for one thing, we're going to be playing Keep Away like crazy. I just do not want that Manikin acting. And so that's going to be a lot of lightning doing lightning things. Edward is here, though, as our clutch unique paralysis option, as you can see here. And because it's a multiple turn paralyze effect, unlike with Shantoto, we can actually just let them take their turns like this and kind of sleep through some things. Gives us a bit of flexibility to work with. The downside to using Edward here is that every time we hit him, that is going to tick down. So we only have a few turns to make our way to a point where we can use Ramuh to fully paralyze him. So you see here, I'm playing kind of fast and loose. Another thing with Edward is, if you hit him with a magic attack while he has one turn left, the sleep will leave and then he will do the counter attack. It has to have at least 2 turns of sleep to hit him safely with magic. I gotta say, I enjoy this a lot more than some of the other fights we've had recently. Not just because, it's one of those, delay the boss to hell and just have a bunch of fun with your characters kind of stages. Because there are a few things here and there that can trip you up. The boss has a big cleanse at 59%. The Manikin makes it so you can't just do single target dumb delay stuff. I may or may not have tried to get Emperor through this stage before resorting to this team, and that well, it wasn't a super easy clear, or a clear at all. But what I like about this fight is that it hits this kind of sweet spot for me where, if I want to just, synergy stomp the stage, use Garland, use Lightning, use, Aranea, the kind of usual suspects, I can do that and have a relatively easy clear. And if I want to stretch myself and do something interesting, there are avenues. Like, the boss presents a puzzle, and, you can complete the puzzle in a fairly straightforward way if you want, and that's totally cool. And if you want to go back and see, like, I wonder if I can get Emperor through this. I wonder how Camelot would do here. I wonder if I can bring Y'shtola to this fight. You can kind of play around and enjoy that, and I like that a lot. Really, I think my favorite parts of the game are when I'm able to kind of try to be creative in getting around the mechanics, and I don't have to feel like, okay, I either have to pull synergy or do this specific cheese strategy. That was kind of my big issue with the Dullahan fight, was it was either, basically came down to either use Mog or use cheese, and that felt kind of shitty. And that's an oversimplification. I'm sure there are plenty of players out there who could prove me wrong and say, hey, I did it with XYZ. I think they're the exception to the rule, and that's my issue here. So, that little analysis of the fight out of the way, you can see here, our buddy the Kaiser Behemoth is at 60%. You can't quite see because Edward's in the way, but you don't want to hit him right now because he'll cleanse, and he also doesn't have sleep on him. So we want to bring him down below 59%, ideally with lightning, so that, or actually in this case with Garland. Edward's he's done his job here. What he was here to do was to stun the guys long enough that we could hit them with Y'shtola safely and with him safely until Ramuh was charged. And I didn't want to use Ramuh until after he had done the big cleanse there. So now, go ahead and use Gabranth LD, or regular call. You'll see I used the regular call there so that he would get the HP damage up from having 4 debuffs instantly, because his LD does not apply the extra 2 debuffs. So with that out of the way, we're ready to kind of go into it, so to speak. Garland has his burst effect in play. They're now both paralyzed, so Y'shtola can kind of go to town. And the goal I have here is, and I think people have done similar things with Terra Burst. I don't have Terra Burst, and I'm trying to use Y'shtola in as many stages as I can just to kind of make it feel like the burst that I lucked into is worth it. But the idea I have here is, Lightning has a perfectly good burst weapon, but what if we put her in between 2 really good burst weapons that she isn't running the turns down on? So with Y'shtola, we're going ahead and we have 2 stacks now of her overhead buff. We're going to use an A to get to 3 so that we can go into her burst. And the rotation I like to use here is Afflatus Misery into her LD, unless if they're broken at the start of this or something, it can get a little bit touchy, but ideally you break them with the Misery, LD to re-break, then we use Stone into EX into Stone again, and that's going to give us 2 more delays out of this whole situation. So we've basically pushed them back 3 times during this burst. And I have to say, I really like the burst animation too. I just think it looks really cool. Not the most damage for a burst phase. Won't beat around the bush there. This is like... It's not really here to do damage per se. I'll be honest, it isn't that great as far as burst damage or even burst utility. I mean, you get a few extra delays, which is nice, but you compare this to like the damage that you get from a Garland BT or a Terra BT or even a Lightning BT. What I like about it is that you can have it on a team where you can have like the kind of classic 2 support and a DPS team with a turn stealing unit like Terra or like Lightning here. And you can do this setup I have here where we have the friend burst effect, we have a support with a burst, and auras who's actually contributing, so it's not like I'm just bringing an all DPS team. And now Lightning is basically supercharged and take as many turns as she wants without having to worry about running out the burst effect. I don't actually know if that's like better than just using a lightning burst or like bringing a cloud or something like that and just using cloud's burst or something. But what it comes down to here is this strategy works and it involves units I enjoy using, so that's really that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about being able to use your favorites. And again, that's what I like about this stage. It's a stage where you can pull out some of your favorites and do stuff like this. I'm probably going to end up posting an X-Death run in which he gets completely carried by Lightning and or Garland or both. I ended up lucking into Garland's BT as well, so I'm probably going to end up wanting to use that. That's maybe a silly example because putting X-Death on a delay team is... Well, I've put him on launch teams before, and he's basically dead weight there. But it's that idea of being able to kind of enjoy the game in your own way. If you want to just stomp through it, there's it's a low enough bar for an entry you can do that. But there's enough nuance to it that if you want to kind of impose some weird challenges, you want to take 2 people into it. Look, Theologica and Clay both did some pretty awesome duo runs of this with Lightning and either Terra or Garland. If you want to do something more creative, like bringing a magic user, you can do that and kind of experiment and feel it out. I like that a lot. That said, I do think the mechanic of, just never let the boss get anywhere near you is a little bit, I don't know, that feels kind of a little weak to me. So with the Garland friend, generally you want to put the burst up first and then spam his LD. I found in single target cases, like where we're trying to kill the behemoth is the main problem here, I actually used his EX as part of the rotation once it was at full battery, because if you kind of cap Garland with battery before he goes into his EX, that's like, he basically in one move can do like, 500,000 damage or something ridiculous. So that was kind of the thinking back there. I was in a bit of a monologue when I did it. You'll just have to trust me that I hit the button. So you'll see here, we've gotten through most of the fight with both burst effects in play. My thinking here is I want to maximize that, and so I used Lightning's last LD, and I'm going to use all of her break reset slashes as well to just get as much mileage out of those burst effects as I can here. Because the fight's almost over as well, so it doesn't really hurt me to just really kind of cut loose and go ham. Luckily she jumps in front of Garland, so we're going to be able to get one more turn of that LD. Or that burst effect. Y'shtola still has hers. So yeah, relatively straightforward fight. There are a lot of good delay options out there. I'm excited to see what creativity people can bring to this. I was wondering if Leo could make an appearance or something cool like that. I know Black Cloud used Camelonaut in his JP run, and I might try to do something involving Camelonaut, because Camelonaut's a goofy, fun unit who I enjoy using. And that, again, gets back to the core of this, which is, this is all about finding units you enjoy and being able to use them. Ideally to solve the puzzle of the fight. And that's what we did here. I really enjoyed myself here, and I hope you did too. Maybe like the video if you did. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see more. Massive respects to the extremely buff Garland friend here. I think that's my buddy Drez. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Adios.